Yo, what's up? It's someone that's known one, and welcome back to a new series. I guess, welcome to a new series, right? So here we are finally back talking about Kanna, Sceletium tortuosum. It's been years now that we talked about this, but it's one of the early ones I brought up for this channel that's seen a lot of different lights. I have a story time of my first time trying it, I have a substance analysis, or a review if you will, where we get into more of the subjective side of it with different doses. Then there's an episode I did of why substances suck on Kanna, getting into all the possible reasons of why it might not just be a good substance at times. And there might be more, to be honest. But on that why substances suck, there was a small amount of backlash. I think mainly from people who actually used it and have cultural experience with it, which I can totally understand. Typically, this has been regarded as a tool of sorts and a helpful medicine at times for certain cultures in South Africa. And I've always had the intention of doing the opposite. Yeah, we went over why it's bad, what to look out for maybe, and all that. But we gotta do justice and make sure we're balanced with this and cover why it may actually be a really good substance for the world. This will be the first episode of this series to kick things off in response to that video. So let me know what you guys think of this, and feel free to make any requests you want. There's a ton of stuff we can get into. But basically, the way this will work, I got a list of reasons we'll dive into, starting with more of the cultural and societal benefits, then moving into more pharmacological and physical ones, and ending with more hypothetical and anecdotal ones that haven't been too fleshed out yet, but are still worth mentioning. And if you have no clue what Kanna is, go check out my past videos on it, or to be honest, this video itself will naturally explain what it is. So with that, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. Without further ado, let's dive right into this. Traditional and cultural value. Okay, so this is something I haven't really brought out too much in the past, but we're gonna get into it a bit here. So in South Africa, there are the Khoisan peoples, the ones responsible for giving Kanna its name. For centuries, possibly even thousands of years, they used it to relieve hunger, stress, and fatigue, especially during long hunts or difficult times. But it wasn't just medicinal. Kanna also played a role in social bonding and emotional well-being. It's commonly chewed or brewed in communal gatherings to help people relax and connect. And sometimes, it can take on more of a traditional or spiritual role, being used ritualistically, which we'll get into next. The Khoisan people have a long history and deep relationship with this plant. And just beyond the cultural roots, there's a whole community of people today who are passionate about Kanna too. Spiritual value. So when it comes to the spiritual side of Kanna, a lot of people see it as more than just a plant. It's something that has its own energy, its own kind of spirit that you can connect with. In smaller doses, people may use it as part of a daily ritual or routine to help find grounding, reflection, or tapping into something deeper with their presence, while larger doses may sometimes be used in ceremonies. By not just seeing it as a substance or a drug, by actually working with it and having respect for it, you can form a relationship with it. And even beyond just taking it, the way it grows, survives, and thrives in nature can bring us a lot of reflection about ourselves and our relationship with it and the rest of the world. These kinds of things make it more than just a mood enhancer or a plant, but something that can help us tune into something more. Natural. This can be a big deal for a lot of people, and that's the fact Kanna is a plant. It's natural, it comes of earth, and isn't man-made. It's not something from the lab, not a chemical with a long list of side effects, even though that still is possible. But it's a living thing that people have used naturally and safely for generations now. And for some, knowing that it's a plant with this history makes it feel more trustworthy. Legal. Another big thing about Kanna is that it's legal pretty much everywhere. That's a pretty big deal, honestly, to be able to have clean access to a tool like this, just to try it out and see how it is for you. We don't have to go through loopholes just to get it, and it does allow many communities to partake in growing and selling Kanna themselves. This gives us easier community building and provides a safer feeling to it. Antidepressant. SSRI, MRA. One of the biggest things about Kanna is its possible antidepressive effect. Notably, through its effects as an SSRI. Kanna's primary alkaloid, mesembrin, works as a serotonin-releasing agent, as well as blocking the reabsorption of serotonin we naturally produce, allowing for more of it to be active in our brains. And serotonin is a big deal when it comes to feeling better, especially if you're going through stress or depression. How it stands out from pharmaceutical SSRIs is Kanna tends to work quickly, so you don't have to worry about long-term dependency issues, and many report it provides more of an uplifting feeling that balances you out, rather than something that numbs you out. Now, even beyond this, there has been a small amount of research suggesting that it potentially acts as a monoamine releasing agent, which would promote the release of key neurotransmitters. And honestly, this may be so significant that this may be what's responsible for the bulk of Kanna's therapeutic benefits. It's something definitely worth considering for future studies and research. Anxiolytic, GABA, δ-opioid. Now this goes pretty hand in hand with it being an antidepressant, but it can be a powerful anxiolytic, something that helps calm anxiety. Serotonin and other transmitters we're going to bring up help regulate the mood and feelings of tension. Kanna also interacts with GABA and even opioid receptors, both of which are heavily involved in regulating anxiety and emotional relief. This multi-targeting probably explains why people report feeling calmer. It seems to bring balance without being too sedating, making it useful for many anxious states. Mood enhancement, PDE4 inhibition. So this kind of goes with the last two again, in that it gives us balance and essentially just lifts our mood. But beyond serotonin playing a role, Kanna notably enhances the function of dopamine, and also inhibits the enzyme PDE4. Through this, Kanna increases the level of cyclic AMPA in the brain, which in turn enhances serotonin and dopamine activity. It will also lead to an energy boost. This will create an uplifted mood and a feeling of well-being. Cognitive benefits: focus, ADHD, memory, Alzheimer's. Beyond just mood enhancements, there's growing support for Kanna's cognitive benefits as well. As a PDE4 inhibitor, it's known to offer cognitive and neuroprotective effects. Its ability to reduce stress may also lead to an improved focus, making it a potential aid for those struggling with ADHD or difficulty concentrating. More extensively researched are its effects on memory, particularly its ability to enhance long-term memory, executive function, and cognitive flexibility. This has led to promising studies to aiding conditions like Alzheimer's by reducing the buildup of beta-amyloid plaques, or even something like Parkinson's. It may also be a result of reduced oxidative stress, and/or its effects as an MRA. While it's not a cure, Kanna shows real potential in supporting mental performance and promoting long-term brain health. Cortisol regulation. Another big benefit with some research is the ability to regulate cortisol levels. Cortisol is often referred to as the stress hormone. When our cortisol levels are chronically high, it can cause health issues like anxiety, weight gain, or impaired cognitive function. Kanna has been shown to lower cortisol, which in turn would help out our stress and any side effects of it. In other words, it's another way it keeps us balanced. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and immune support, IL-10. This is another big promise that Kanna shows. That reduced oxidative stress I brought up can play a huge role. It may help neutralize free radicals in the body, basically molecules in our body that don't serve us any purpose and may just cause harm. This plays a big role in terms of aging, neurodegeneration, and those with mental health issues. Along with that is its ability to reduce inflammation, which is also linked to many of the same issues. But it's where we see more of the physical effects of Kanna. The research shows that it does support the body with long-term resilience against stress, inflammation, and cellular damage. This can do wonders in helping the immune system. The anti-inflammatory properties promote cytoprotective effects and improve mitochondrial viability in immune cells. There still needs to be more research done, but it's thought by increasing IL-10 release, this could significantly reduce inflammation without impairing the immune system. And also at the same time, stress is linked to the immune response. So with that, in many ways, Kanna shows to actually help the body, not toxify it. Mild pain relief. So this kind of ties back to the inflammation, maybe some opioid activity, and does get brought up here and there somewhat, but Kanna can actually have some pain relief. Nothing heavy duty, but the activity we brought up may contribute to a subtle reduction in discomfort or pain. But this is probably more suited for things like headaches, slight body aches, muscle aches, or body fatigue. Again though, this is nothing major. Increased energy. Now while we have been saying Kanna can help relax and de-stress, at the same time, it does have a notable ability to boost energy, physically and mentally. This is likely tied to the PDE4 inhibition. Traditionally, the Khoisan people will use it for hunts, where hunger and fatigue may be a real concern. But many say it's not something like caffeine, not all jittery, but more of a clean mental clarity and physical uplift. Because of the reduced stress and improved mood, it will naturally bring out more drive and alertness, as we talked about somewhat with the cognitive benefits. Appetite suppression, digestion, cholecystokinin 1. This goes hand in hand with the last point pretty much, but this can help pretty significantly depending on the dosage, with natural eating, or even emotional eating. It's probably linked to its effects with serotonin, as that's typically involved with the gut and appetite regulation. But Kanna has also shown to have an impact on cholecystokinin 1 receptors, which helps release digestive enzymes and bile, resulting in better digestion and absorption. This will naturally help with gut inflammation, obesity, and diabetes as well. It's not really pushed as a weight loss supplement, but if used right, it can give a gentle reduction in appetite and support mindful eating. Sleep quality, AMPA, melatonin. Okay, so while Kanna does relax, while it does provide an energy boost, you might wonder how it might impact sleep. Well, studies show that this activity will actually improve sleep quality, and for many reasons. It's thought that PDE4 and AMPA play a crucial role in regulating our sleep-wake cycles. We mentioned earlier, Kanna can play a role in the signaling, which in turn can significantly improve sleep. Besides that, we did mention how GABA could play a role as well, which would also help with sleep. But something else that stands out is that it has some activity on melatonin receptors. Melatonin is widely known for acting as a sleep hormone, so this activity will improve the natural circadian rhythm. Also, the cortisol levels being lowered will also promote better sleep, and there's possibly even a benefit with dream quality. Tactile sensation, libido. So I don't bring this side up too often, because I don't want to bring attention to aphrodisiacs and kind of keep the channel PG like that, even though really it's not. So I mean, fuck it at this point. At this point we matured past that viewpoint, so I guess we'll talk about this for real. First thing, the physical aspect of this can naturally increase your sensitivity of skin and touch. So natural tactile sensations will be about. But it gets more empathogenic as stress and mental health can affect pleasure. The effects it has with serotonin and dopamine can help with low libido. There isn't too much research on it yet, but it does show promise in helping things like erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. It may also be helpful for women with PMS. So in many different ways, it can help amplify physical and emotional intimacy. Fast acting. Okay, so we kind of brought this up, but it is a big point. Depending on how you take it, it's often felt within minutes. Even if you were to cap it or drink the tea, it's likely you'll feel it within say like 15-20 minutes. This is a huge pro, especially as a medicine. It gives you an idea of what it's like pretty much right away, and it can give you a relief you might need pretty much right away. When we look at pharmaceuticals, most antidepressants take at least a couple weeks or so before you notice anything significant. but I think when we have that noticeable shift that Kanna can give, it builds a better sense of reliability and responsiveness, which is something many appreciate with a substance. Non-addictive, low abuse, and recreational value. Okay, so all these effects sound really good, right? But a big thing is, many people don't want to get dependent on something. Well, despite these genuine mood-lifting effects, Kanna has shown to be non-addictive. Even with its impact on serotonin, dopamine, and everything else going on, there haven't been signs of physical addiction like that. Most people don't even get the sensation to really use it too heavily. There might be some acute tolerance to it, as frequent redosing doesn't seem to be rewarding in the same manner as some other substances. Typically, it is significant and long-lasting enough, and the natural effects don't inspire the abuse of it, but rather respect. Not saying it isn't totally possible, but it really hasn't been documented. Then of course with this, naturally, this ups the recreational value in ways. It is pretty mild, unless you snort the extract that is, but even then, it won't be the most intense experience. The relaxation and empathy make it great for music, socializing, or just chilling out. Anti-Epilepsy, AMPA. Another thing that's kind of recent is Kanna has shown potential to treat epilepsy. More activity has been found, and that is, it impacts the AMPA receptors. These play a huge role in glutamate signaling, which are involved with neuron excitability and seizure activity. Mesembrine is the main alkaloid thought to be at play, attenuating that hyperexcitability, but this hasn't been fully fleshed out and tested thoroughly yet, so replacing seizure medications is probably not a safe option, but it does show promise at least being part of a management plan. Dosing, microdoses, extracts, consumption methods. So another great aspect about this substance, we have options for dosing, and I mean that in multiple ways, but it comes down to your desired effects and preference. Microdosing, along with standard dosing, is probably the most common approach, especially when first starting or in casual settings. It can get that focus and stress reduction without making it feel too psychoactive. The opposite though, let's say you do a macro dose or a heroic dose, or a careless dose maybe. At the very least, there haven't been any documented cases of a harmful overdose with Kanna. Doesn't mean you might not get bad side effects. But besides that, we have many choices for how to consume it. Whether that's just raw plant material and chewing it, making a kind of tea, maybe using capsules, or smoking it. Then there's extracts, which are more pushed on the supplement market. These might express certain alkaloids more, just depending. But typically, it will offer a more potent experience, and is more suited for those with stronger needs, or possibly recreational values. Sorting is also an option with the extracts, and has been compared to MDMA with how recreational it can be. So again, many choices, depending on what you're looking for or prefer. Synergy and combinations. So we're more towards the end of the video. Here's some of the more questionable information. I won't mention any specific stack or anything like that, or recommend anything, but we'll just note the possibility that it could be used therapeutically with another substance. Maybe a nootropic stack to really get the best cognitive benefits. Maybe the focus can go hand in hand with something like caffeine. There hasn't been research done with it like that from what I know, but considering its impact on serotonin and whatnot, while some combinations may be okay, it really can be a risk with some others. Serotonin syndrome being your biggest concern. Treating substance withdrawals. Again, so here's another maybe, but it has potential, so we'll cover it briefly. Withdrawal from hard substances like alcohol, coke, benzos, and whatnot can be super discomforting, causing high amounts of stress and anxiety, things that Kanna could help alleviate. It's probably due to all the activity we brought up here today, though more research is needed to see exactly how this could be best used. Future research, PTSD, ASD, cardiovascular. Alright, to close this video out, I do want to touch on some other areas Kanna could be helpful with, some things we still need to explore. And these are just a few thoughts I'm sharing, but they make sense considering Kanna's activity. PTSD, for instance, is an area I think should be a major focus, especially since the condition literally revolves around stress. Kanna could potentially provide relief, even if just to a small degree. Another area worth considering is ASD, autism. For me personally, I know how stressful and anxiety-inducing certain situations can be, and Kanna could be useful in easing those anxieties, especially when it comes to socializing. Additionally, it's possible that Kanna could benefit cardiovascular health due to regulating cortisol and stress hormones. Possibly it helps with conditions like hypertension or other cardiovascular diseases. Again, these last points are theoretical, and they're definitely areas for future research, but I do feel like they show a lot of promise. Okay, so there it is. Yes, why Kanna may actually be good, right? Again, probably a big video here, probably a long time coming. It's been a long while. We talked about Sceletium tortuosum, but here we go. Hope we did some justice for this. If you feel like I missed anything significant like that, please let me know. Try to fill it in as much as we can, in the comments if I did, but I think we got everything covered for the most part, and just again the future possibilities there at the end as well. So yeah, let me know what I should cover next, guys. It's been fun making this, and let me know what you think of this series. I think it's gonna be a nice contrast. Expect more of these. Expect more from the why substances suck. Expect some more other series too coming about. I'm in a new phase, and it's one of the best yet. I'll just say that, but that'll be for a personal video. So yeah, it's been someone that's no one. Subscribe, like the video, check out the socials, Twitter, Instagram, I should say X now, Snapchat, whatever you want to hit me up, hit up your boy. Alright, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.